Hi, I'm Justin,
Hi, Justin.
and I am a father.
Hi, I'm Kevin,
Hi, Kevin.
and I am also a father.
Welcome to episode 1 of Fathers Anonymous, where we're fathers. I don't really think anonymity, the anonymousness doesn't
Uh,
matter, but this is a podcast that is by fathers for fathers. I mean, I'm really hoping that in this podcast we are able to kind of give fathers a place to belong, a place to come and hang out, place to share experiences for people from all different walks of life. I'm hoping to learn some stuff. We probably won't learn anything this episode because it's just me and Kevin, and we're both relatively new fathers.
I mean, I'm a pretty much a pro at this point, man. Like,
Yeah, you've got
got this shit figured out.
you've got how many months under your belt? 7, 8?
7 months.
Okay,
7 months.
and I'm a couple weeks away from 10 months. So we both got under 1 year olds. So we're not beacons of experience, but we're hoping to bring on some people with far more experiences and teach us the tricks to make this shit a little bit easier. Yeah, our setup's a little bit scuffed right now. We're recording online over Discord. We don't have the raw files to actually make us look pretty. Kevin's traveling. You want to explain that?
Yeah, I'm looking. We're moving shortly from Europe to Florida, and we're trying to figure out how to best move my family across the world and hopefully into a new home in Florida. And that process has me massively stressed, as I'm sure anyone listening can imagine.
Yeah. So we are both military or military families. I am Air Force stationed in California, and I've been here for the last 6 years. Kevin, you've been adventuring over in Italy for
Yep,
3 years?
5 years.
5 years. Good Lord.
Yeah, I've been in Italy for 5 years. So, was in the Navy Reserves recently. Just got out, as you can tell by my lovely beard and full white man fro. Uh, so my wife is still in active duty. So we're like mill to mill family. And so thankfully, like the government helps a little bit with PCSing and moving us from country to country, but that doesn't make the process any less stressful.
Yeah, I bet. I was stressed enough moving from one apartment into renting a house, so I can only imagine moving overseas literally. But
Yeah.
yeah, so a little bit about us. We're both military, etc. We're both working from a scuffed setup right now. Kevin's webcam is scuffed. He's got a way better camera at home, so future episodes he'll look
Yeah.
way prettier. But yeah, we're operating from really scuffed setups right now. We're gonna get that all ironed out. This is the pilot episode. This is episode 1. There's a lot of work to be done. Odds are you might not even be watching. You might just be listening, or nobody's watching or listening. But if anybody is, our wives are. So that's hi babe. But
Hi.
we are
Well, we're gonna make AJ listen to this, I'm sure. So
yeah,
hi, AJ.
we'll make our friends listen as well. Our non-father friends, which is
Right.
interesting in of itself. But yeah, I'm 28 years old. I've got a 9 month, almost 10-month old. I am engaged to my partner, and I also have a bonus child. I've got a 5-year-old stepdaughter. So I came into the fatherhood journey. I came into her life when she was 3 years old. So once she hits 6 years old, I'll have been in her life longer than I'll I'll have been in her life longer than I haven't, which is kind of cool to think about. But other than that, I've got a lot of experience with working with kids. Both of us do. We volunteered in church a lot in our youth,
Mm,
but now we've got our own kids to worry about. Um,
yeah. It's way different when it's your own kid. I gotta say that.
yeah, it's a lot more
You
work, a
actually
lot more
care about them.
responsibility. You don't get to send them
Yeah.
back to their parents at the end of the night or
Yeah.
day. Other than that, I want to create an online community for fathers and other like minded individuals where they can come hang out, whether it be on Discord or some other form of online connection. So we could like play games if anybody plays video games, do movie or poker nights, and kind of network and just talk to other people who might be in similar situations or who have experienced things that we're going through.
Yeah.
Kevin, do you have anything that you're hoping to get out of this other than bags of money?
all the bags of money, please subscribe to our Patreon if we have a Patreon when you're listening to this. 'Cause, um, I'm really excited to make other connections, right? Especially like moving back to America. Like we've been in Europe for so long now that it's going to be an adjustment for us, and the lifestyle of having kids in Europe is different from that in America, like which might sound weird to people, but especially like in Italy, right? Uh, Italians love kids to the point where they are a like honored part of society, right? Like in America, if you go out to a restaurant and there's a kid running around screaming, most of the time you're like, damn, this kind of sucks. This is ruining the whole vibe. This is like just total destruction of atmosphere if there's a screaming kid, right? Like everyone starts like looking at the kid, sighing, making comments like, "Oh, these parents need to control their kids." In Italy, that's not the case. Like everyone is smiling, watching the kids just run around the restaurant. Like the waiters will stop and like literally cater to the kids to engage them in something while they're going about their job. It's just like total night and day difference in the culture. People, which bothers me and my wife, just how people in Italy are just they want to be a part of the child's life. Like random strangers will come up and try to like engage with our baby, which makes us very uncomfortable. Just in this post-COVID world, diseases, a lot of Italians smoke. So we have to like navigate that and try to be polite, but also like, hey, like don't touch my kid, like uh so it's kind of like an interesting environment. Whereas in America, you don't go up and just touch a random stranger's kid, that's a no-no. Stranger danger and whatnot, so it's something that has been interesting for me navigating. That's
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me and like I grew up with I'm the oldest of four. And so like I grew up around kids being loud. I was always like quiet, but my siblings could be loud when we'd go out and about. And I remember my parents or my mom specifically always being so like anxious about us making noise and bothering those around us. And now being a parent myself, like even before, just like even as like a teenager or a young adult, I would be at Chili's and there'd be a crying baby, and like
yeah.
I would feel bad for them because I know that they're
Hmm.
feeling some kind of way about people judging them. And
Yep.
that's just kind of sad. Like
Yeah.
people
So
just need to
that's
have more
something.
empathy.
Yeah, that's not a thing in Italy, like I said, at all. Like, we take her out to dinner all the time, and if she ever throws a fit, like, the waiters come over asking if there's anything they can do to help. Like, do we want a high chair? Do we want, like, an extra napkin for her to play with? Like, uh, it just total difference in culture. Like, nobody like, the surrounding, other occupants of the restaurant, I'm
Diners.
really diners,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever that word is. Like no one is like complaining or giving you like a disgusted look like you would get in America. It's like sympathetic looks, like, oh, look at the baby, like what's wrong? Like everyone wants to like help. And so it's going to be something for us to get used to, like coming back to America, where like taking your child out to dinner isn't accepted. Like people in America expect you to get a sitter, you know? They expect you to not take your baby in
That
public,
they
basically.
want them seen but not heard.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not the case throughout like most places I've been in Europe. I'm fairly well traveled at this point. But yeah, specifically, like I said, Italy, where I live, it's just kids are like raging members of society, heavily honored. You see kids out like super late with their parents, hanging out, total family cohesion and stuff, which is really cool to see.
Hmm.
From my opinion, it's definitely something that I want to try to take back with me as we move back to America.
Yeah.
Just the inclusion of kids. There isn't that like seen not heard aspect. Like kids are very present and a part of all of the activities. They're very, very family centered, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that leads pretty well into like the first topic that I kind of wanted to get into with us being new parents and everything. I think something that's really cool about doing this, and you know me, I'm not the most consistent fellow, but let's imagine a world where I'm consistent and we're doing this weekly, bi weekly, or however much we do it for the next 10 years, 15 years. My kid's 18 and I'm technically like not a child father anymore, but like this is like a journal and we're going to get to watch what our struggles are like as the ages go and like what we are like proficient in, what we lean on our partners for help. And so I think that's really cool, but I think it would be interesting to know what is our biggest challenge with parents in this first year of parenting. What's been your biggest challenge so far?
So mine might be different from most, right? So uh, I I basically quit my job. Like I left the Navy's to be the stay-at-home dad, right? I was at a point in my career where I would have to make the decision to be gone a lot more. I'd have to, go to different schools and take positions if I was going to advance, where I'd be on a ship for extended periods of time, and that's just not something that I was comfortable with. Like I didn't want to miss out on my daughter's life. It's like something that I talked with a lot of other mentors in the Navy who, have been in for like 15, 20 years. And some of them have literally like one of my bosses, I was talking with him, this master chief, and his youngest
From
kid,
Halo?
yeah, from Halo. That's the fun thing about Navy ranks. Um, but anyway, uh, he hasn't been home for his youngest child's birthday ever, and his
God.
youngest kid is 7. You know, uh, and it's just like it's not a sacrifice I really want to make. Like I really enjoyed my job in the Navy, but not more than I love my daughter. And so I'm a stay-at-home dad currently. Like I operate my own business, and I'm able to do that uh, through the support of my wife. Um, so, like for me, it's like the adjustment of not going to work every day anymore. I'm at home taking care of this person, and I'm um, supporting her and watching her milestones and making sure she's just fully taken care of. And
Mhm.
so it's actually something I really, really love. It's not really like a difficult thing as much as more like a mental adjustment. Um, but I have enjoyed it. Like I've really, really, really enjoyed fatherhood. Um, so maybe that's not a great example of hardest
So I
part
mean,
of.
like essentially adjusting to no longer being responsible for going to work, but your job
Yeah,
is
like
now
my job is
24/7.
now 24/7. Like I'm always with her. So like right now, like I'm the one that is back in America looking at homes for my family. My wife was able to take some leave to stay home with Rain. Um and I'm here, which like right now I'm stressed, dude. Like I've this is the longest. I've only been in America for 2 days now, and it's the longest I've been away from her, and it really
Yeah.
sucks.
You start to
you
feel
know
guilty.
Yeah, immensely so, which has just kind of re-solidified my decision to get out of the Navy because I don't think I could be apart from her for months on end, or years on end. It just would really, really weigh on me. Um,
Yeah, I
it's gonna sound,
100% agree. I mean, that's something
it's
I
gonna sound,
struggle with day to day is the
yeah,
guilt of going to work. The guilt
yeah,
of not being there to change that diaper, put the baby down for that nap. It's hard because it has to be done and one of
hmm
us has to do it unless if you're born into like a silver spoon family where I don't
yeah,
know, but yeah, that's a difficulty I struggle with, which is kind of the opposite. But go ahead, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, no, you're good, man. I was gonna say like the hardest part is like actually watching her grow up. It sounds kind of funny, like, since she's only 7 months old, but, like, seeing her, like, from what seems like literally yesterday, just be this tiny helpless baby to the point where she's now crawling around, pulling herself up, she's starting to stand, she's, like, exploring the whole world around her, and just realizing that she's not gonna stay a little baby forever,
Hmm.
and she's developing into this whole person has kind of been a little bit of a struggle. Like, I have to remind myself that I can't just hold her all day long. I need to let her explore and grow.
Does she let
That's
you hold her if she's like up and like not getting ready to go down for a nap? Like, will she just sit there with you and let you hold her?
Yeah, for a while. It really depends. Like, if I'm doing something, like if I'm standing like and like holding her, then yeah, like
Hmm.
she'll love that. If we're sitting on the couch, she doesn't really want to sit on my lap. She wants to, crawl
Move,
around and explore and
move
play
and
with toys
groove.
and stuff. Yeah, which is fun. And she's fast now, dude. Like,
I
she'll get
hate it.
from yeah,
Like baby gates
she's
are
so fast.
real. We just got a
Mhm.
playpen and I call it baby jail, and like
Yeah, we do the same thing.
got to put the baby in baby jail. It makes
Yep,
me
she
think of
crawls.
Rugrats. Like remember they used to have
Our
their playpen?
Yeah, our playpen is huge. It's like the playpen in Rugrats, dude. It takes up like our whole living room just about. But it's nice because we got all toys in there. Got like a separate little ball pit that she can kind of crawl into inside of it, and just she'll occupy herself for probably about 30 minutes
Hmm.
at a time until she like realizes that she's by herself. Um, but the playpen is big enough that I can get in there with her, and if I'm just sitting inside the playpen and she can kinda, like, look over and see me, and she's
Oh,
happy,
he's still
and
there. That's literally
yes.
same thing with Olive. That's
Yeah.
so Rain's your daughter's name. Olive is mine. Um,
Yeah.
Same exact thing. She'll entertain herself for a short amount of time, but then
Mhm.
immediately be like, "Wait, why is nobody paying attention to me?" But
Yeah.
I completely feel that. Um, but yeah, it's been crazy. Like every so often, at least once a week, I'll look at Olive and I'll be like, "Wait, you're my daughter? Like I have a
Right?
child?" And it just it's crazy for me to think that I am a father, like I said at the
Yeah.
start of at the start of the podcast. But well, I wanted to know. So I've got an interesting relationship, like with father figures in my life. I'll get into that. But for you, how has your relationship with your dad or other father figures, because we've had father figures other than our dads,
Yeah.
impacted you in your approach to fatherhood? Because we're different than our parents. Your parents are a
Mhm.
bit older than mine, so different generations, and it impacts us
Mhm.
all differently. So,
Yeah. For me, I'm trying to just take the good from everybody, right? So, like, I really with my dad was pretty present in my life and he would really love showing me how to do things, whether it was like working on cars, working on computers, just working on the house, like he'd always like, all right, hey, this is what we're doing today, from when I was like really, really young, and if I had a question about something, he would just show me how it worked, which is something I really appreciated from him that I know
mhm.
a lot of people our age unfortunately didn't uh, get,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
to teach me how to.
I remember your dad being super hands-on. Like we've been
Yeah.
friends for going on 20 plus years now, and I remember going to your
Hmm.
house and like he would hang out with us while we watched or he'd hang out and watch us play video games, or
Hmm.
during the daytime if I came over on a Friday night and I'm there Saturday during the day, he'd be like, "Yo, you guys get out there to the yard and pick some weeds. Like
Yeah,
I'll give you
like we're
guys some
picking weeds.
money for Seven
Yeah.
Eleven or something to go get some snacks, but like
Yeah.
go do some work." And so like that work
Or
ethic.
he'd have us like changing the brakes on the car. I don't know if you were there for that ever. But like, yeah, he'd always be showing like how to do something, and that's like something I'm really, really appreciative of. Like a lot of people our age, even like a lot of men our age, like they didn't have a dad or someone in their life to teach them how to change a tire, how to check the brakes, oil pressure, like in a car. I'm using cars as an example. Like me and my dad bonded over cars pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that, like how to snake a toilet, how to do the plumbing.
Call a plumber.
Um, yeah, like we remodeled our bathroom when I was in junior high, and I did a lot of the work with my dad. We did tiling, we did the grout work, uh, like literally like replacing old pipes, like we did like a lot of work. Um, and it's not anything I could probably do on my own today, but I'd have an idea of at least, how to do some stuff, you
And
know?
you'd have
Um,
somebody to call if you needed the
yeah,
answers, which is
e- exactly. So that's like stuff I'm pulling from, just the ever presence to just encourage uh exploration and just how to learn how to do things. Other like father figures just growing up in we both grew up in the same church. um and so there's a lot of really cool men that we were around just with different men's groups growing up, and so there's a lot of people that I would like were father figures to me, like Scott, big influence in my life, huge mentor. And just his uh, presence and being willing to like always listen is
hmm
something that I took, and he was always there to offer a different lens, like because he is a father figure, but not my father, and so it's like easier to approach him on certain
yeah,
things
open
and
up
just
about specific things. Ask
yeah,
him for his professional opinion, like what's this rash I have because he was a
e- ex-
doctor or is a
yeah,
doctor.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I took away a lot from father figures at church as well. I mean,
hmm
I'll get into my therapy time in just a moment, but like Nate, our youth pastor,
yeah,
I got to watch him have his two little girls. I don't know if he has more kids now. I'm not really a Facebook guy, but he loved his girls so much and he was so playful with them and so active in their lives from what I saw, and just like
hmm
how much he loved on his girls. It's like, oh, I want to like show my girls that kind of love. But yeah, a bit about my past. This is therapy time for me. Um I come from a
got a big comfy couch here, man. Just get comfortable.
I come from a split family. My mom and dad were never really together. They had me and my brother. And so my brother's about 2 years younger than me. And then after having my brother, my mom was no longer with my biological father. She then had another child with another man. And then after that, several years later, I'd say 12 years later, she had her last daughter, who's now 16 or 17. Um, but she married that man, and he was my stepfather for around 10, 11 years until he left the picture. He's no longer in the picture. But for me, I never really had a consistent father figure in my day to day life. My biological dad, who we're going to have on the show. He's always been a part of my
he's
life.
he's a great guy.
He,
He's awesome.
yeah, we'll bring him on and he's a father outside of me and my brother, who are now fully grown adults, kinda. He's got a
More or less.
2 or 3 year old, my younger brother. Man, I don't even know how old he is. I'm not involved as much as I'd like to, but yeah, like my dad was always there, but he wasn't a part of my day to day life, and so I didn't really have anybody to show me the ropes of man things, and even my stepfather, who was in my life from 10 years old to 20, 21 years old, there was a lot of negative there, a lot of positive as well that I was able to take away. Um, Now being a stepfather myself, hoping that I could take some of the good from what I learned from him. Something that I take away from my dad, who um, is almost like an older brother to me, as weird as that may sound, because like we grew up together. He had me at 17 years old.
Yeah.
He's he's raising a kid at the same time I'm raising a kid right now. Like he's like an older brother to me, but he was always there for me. And so to know like no matter what was going on in my household that I could just call him and go over there and that he would take care of me and like you see it so much today with like the deadbeat dads and like they're just not present in their children's life. Like no matter what happens, if I'm not with my partner who I'm with today in 5 years, like no matter what, I'm gonna be there for my child. And for my stepdaughter too, I couldn't imagine leaving her life for good and not being somebody who's there for her 10 years from now, even if I'm not her stepdad anymore. And so I really value the presence that my father showed me. Outside of that, like you said, we had a lot of father figures in the church.
Mhm.
My grandpa, he's passed away about 2 years ago now, but he was probably the most masculine man figure that I had in my life. Um, so I see a lot of traits in him that I'd like to take away. He was a he was a big dude. He hunted, he cooked, he did the barbecues, he did all the yard work and stuff. And so those are all things that like I value and want to take going forward. Um, Very stoic guy. He was quieter for sure. Something that I don't want to take away from that is that while he was a very strong man, he didn't really how do I word this kindly? He didn't run the house. And I'm not saying that one person should be running the house and the other should like the man should be running the house and the woman should just bow to him. But there has to be a balance. In my family, it was a very matriarchal family. The women ran shit. And so
Oh yeah, same in
grandpa
my family, man.
grandpa really I would have loved to have seen more of him stepping up and it being more of a 50-50 partnership between him and my grandmother. But that's not really what reflected. My family would probably kill me if they ever listen to this, but we're not on talking terms presently, so I'll
I mean,
we'll stay
it's
out of
interesting
that. This
that you
is
say that
therapy
though.
time. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's so like my family also, I would say, very much matriarchal.
Matriarchal.
Like my family was very much matriarchal, in the same sense of like my grandma was more the focal point and central hold on like our family. Um, and it's like my mom's side of the family too, you know. It's like my dad wasn't really close with his family. His dad passed away like weeks before I was born, so I never had the opportunity to know him. But I did know my mom's father, my grandfather. He died almost 10 years ago now, but he was a pretty big part of our life. But at the same time, grandma was the one more or less seemingly calling the shots. You know, she like ran the house. Um, Same in my life or my family, like my mom ran the house, you know, and made like the decisions for the family. A lot of that I think had to do with the fact that my dad had to work a lot. Um, like when I was young, like he got out of the Air Force when I was 5 years old, and then got into like a tech job, and then lost it, you know, in like early 2001, 2002, where like, the big tech uh, bubble collapsed, and like had to resort back to truck driving. And he's been doing that now for like forever, you know. Um, and so with him working long hours, my mom just kind of did everything. Uh, and I don't think that's like a bad thing inherently, but it is definitely like you said, it wasn't a 50-50 in the house with like decision making or just how things were run. And that's something that me and my wife are trying to change. You know, like we both have equal say on matters, and we want to kind of instill that value like in our daughter, right?
Hmm.
uh, which is I think going to be interesting.
I mean, I feel like
Ju-
that's personally a weakness that I can work on myself, where
yeah.
there'll be times when there's a decision that needs to be made, and I look to mom instead of being like, wait, I'm a big boy. I'm the man of the
Mhm.
house. Like, I can make a decision here as well. And since it
Yeah.
was always my mom who,
Hmm.
like, all right, stepdad, you're bringing in the bread and doing this and that, but like any decisions that need to be made, like mom's going to make them. And I really don't want that to be like how I parent or how I like run my household with my partner. It should be
Yeah.
equal.
And I agree with that, and like I don't want to overbear. I don't want to be like, well, I'm the man of the house, so this is what we're doing. I just I don't think that's the right answer either, you know.
Right.
But being able to effectively, calmly discuss things and come to a decision together, or as a family, I think will be healthier and more effective just in the long run. And that's definitely something that my wife and I have discussed. I think it put me at a disadvantage because I try to be more passive and not be like, oh well, it has to be my way, because I'm the man. Because then you get accused of toxic masculinity and all of that. So I try to just like, oh well, just I'll let my wife do whatever she wants, which isn't the right answer. I think like I need to step up. I need to take care of things and not leave things for her to do. Because especially now, like where I'm the stay-at-home dad, like I have free time to do things. Um,
Man, I don't know about
I'm
that. I don't know about that. What is free time? I swear. If I'm not taking care of the kids, then I'm taking care of the house, which the kids are then going to go and mess up immediately. I mean,
yeah,
you don't have a bonus 5-year-old running around just yet, but
I do not.
they get messy, trust me. But
Yeah, so especially now that like Rain's eating solid food,
uh-huh,
she
everywhere.
gets
It's everywhere.
it's everywhere, man.
A
And so like
bib
I'm
doesn't do shit.
constantly not even a little bit, dude. Especially like I have a different mentality from my wife. Like I'm very careful like with giving Rain food. I control it. Like I don't let her hold the spoon. I'm like dodging her hands and like just getting it in and scooping it up, wiping her mouth real quick. So there's like as little mess as possible, just because I just don't want to deal with it.
Are you guys
But
doing
when my
any like
wife's home,
free hand food yet where she like grabs it like the little like
so Rachel
crackers
will
and stuff?
force. Oh yeah, we do like crackers and stuff, the little teething crackers, and those are messy, but it's not too bad. And Rain loves those. But what my wife will do is she'll dump all of her food in a bowl and give Rain a spoon and let Rain just go at it.
That
And
that
it's
bowl's immediately going on the ground.
oh yeah. Well, it's got a suction cup. It stays on the
Hey,
high chair pretty good
babies are
actually.
strong. Babies are strong.
Well, what she does is she leaves the bowl alone because she can get everything out of the bowl with her hands.
Oh yeah.
And I can send you like a little video later of Rain just covered, and she's like grabbing with she's got a spoon in one hand and just grabbing into the bowl and just like smearing it all over her face, or just like smacking the bowl and food just flying out of it. And I'm like, oh man. And for me, I'm like, oh my god, the mess. Like, why? But yeah, I know it's good for Rain too, though. Like, it lets her explore and get used to her surroundings, and she's having fun. You know, um, it's just something I need to let go of. And just let my daughter be a baby.
Absolutely. Messes are messes. We could clean them up. We could clean the baby up.
Yeah.
Um, with your wife and with having a baby now in the picture for almost a year now, how has that like what has changed between you and your partner, and how has it like impacted you guys now having a kid in the mix?
Mm, there's definitely been a change, and I think it wasn't really noticeable at first. Um, it's it was an immediate change, or obviously like having a baby that we're now both responsible for. And I think it kind of hit us in different ways. And it was definitely like a learning curve, right? Of um who's watching the kid, who's the person who's responsible right now for the baby, even if we're both home,
It has to be
like,
communicated.
yeah,
Like,
you can't just assume the other parent is watching the baby and like being adjusted to each other's workflow, right? So like I like to stay up late, right? I find it easier, like for me, like right now, like I really only get work done after Rain goes to sleep. It's impossible, uh, or I find it very difficult to do things around the house when Rain is awake, especially when she was like younger, or I couldn't set her down, unless she was napping, and then like she'd only nap for 20 minutes, and so
yeah,
like get something done real quick,
you're
and
lucky if you could take a shit. Like,
yeah,
God.
exactly, So, I tend to get everything done after Rain goes to sleep, so like put Rain to bed, like bed 8, 9 o'clock, and then do some dishes, and then I work on editing pictures or videos, or whatever project I'm working on uh, at that point in time. And then I finally have about an hour or two, if I don't have a whole lot of work to do, to play some video games with some friends, and so I can relax, um, and making sure that not just me, since I'm the person who has the primary responsibility, like I'm the one that's staying home with Rain. My wife goes to work, but making sure that Rachel, my wife, also has the time that she gets to relax and like come home from work and not just be burdened with immediately, like I don't want to just hand off Rain to her, because that's not fair,
Mhm.
because she's been at work all day, and so finding that balance so we can both take time to ourselves and recharge, so we're being able to be present in each other's lives still, and that's still, I would say, something we're working on and getting better at as time goes on,
Yeah,
so
easy for me. Like, finding the time for myself already is difficult, but it is so important to make sure that like we find time to spend with our partners and like
mhm.
have that one-on-one time to reconnect and make sweet love and talk about, I just want to say make
Yeah.
sweet love. But I mean, it really is hard to find that time, but you have to take advantage of it. I mean, it's hard because we get the baby down and like you said, it could be a 30-minute nap, it could be an hour and a half. And like
Hmm.
sometimes we just want to sit there and do our own things so we could recharge our own batteries, but we also
Yeah.
need to be there. So like we've been really working on spending quality time together even if we're doing our own things. So I'll sit there and play my Switch or read my book while she's watching TikToks, which watching TikToks is her job. Her job is to watch TikToks and find all the funny ones to show me later. But yeah, it's really hard to find that time. I figure,
Yeah, I think that's something that we're definitely need to do a better job of, with being having the quality time together. I would say, like, we spend family time. Like, it's like highlight is like when Rachel comes home from work. Typically, like right before we'll put Rain down for bed, we go on a family walk. And that's like. Uh, Part just to put Rain to sleep. She loves just being in her stroller now as we walk around outside. And a lot of times she'll fall asleep there, and we just transfer her to her crib.
oh, that's
Um,
nice.
and then me and Rachel are able to talk, and socialize and get together with each
Mhm.
other and stuff. And it's something like we really, really enjoy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, I think something that my therapist told me that really stuck out to me was, you're in the hardest part right now. Like, it's a baby. Like, eventually, that baby is going to be going to school, and even like a little bit longer than that, that baby is going to be a teenager and is going to want nothing to do with you. So, like, I'm really trying to take it in and soak it all in and enjoy this time as much as I can because It's not going to be here forever. Yeah, I need to get this figured out. I'm assuming it's just due to the weather. But yeah, if you can't tell, due to the editing, we've been having some technical difficulties. The weather is impacting my internet on the day that I decide to record. Everything is trying to stop me, but it's not going to.
But we're
Um,
gonna persevere because
so
we're manly father men who aren't gonna let little internet troubles
yeah,
get us down.
things might be chopped up a little bit weird here at certain parts, and I apologize for that. But if you made it this far and like you're getting to these parts, then hey, thanks for sticking around.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
But
Means you probably related to us a little bit. You found us interesting or mildly attractive. You really like my beard or Justin's face. So we appreciate you. Um, uh, yeah, I know you have. I think one last question.
yeah, so the last question was kind of related to what we were already talking about, and it was just how do we balance the responsibilities of being a father, parenting with other areas of our life, like work or personal interests? Like the only time I get to play video games is when I'm taking a dump or before bed. I mean, honestly, like, well, kind of to touch on what you were talking about relating to your wife Rachel working and then coming home, and it's like the job doesn't stop. Like I go to
Yeah.
work, I come home, and personally at that point I want to be the parent for the rest of the day. Like
Hmm.
Danielle, my partner, she's been taking care of the kids all day. Like I want to do everything I can so that like she's still at work, don't get me wrong, but like she doesn't have to do everything. I don't come home, crack open a beer and sit on the couch and where's my dinner? Personally,
Yeah.
like I love to cook, so I do the cooking. I
Hmm.
I don't really think that just because I cook, somebody's got to clean up after me. So I try to clean as I go when I can. Sometimes I'm not able to,
Hmm.
but like we don't really fit normal roles. I think it'll be interesting having on guests and like if we get on some older guests, how they'll feel about that because we're a bunch of little
Yeah.
pussy boys, bunch of little libs. But we're gonna
Snowflakes.
stay away from politics and other controversial things. But I think to some people the way that I father might be kind of controversial. So I'm interested. I'm interested. I'd love
Yeah.
to hear somebody come on and be like, "You're doing way too much." Like, but I'm just joking. But
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I think like it's for both of us is like we've seen a lot of good, but also a lot of bad, and we're trying to adjust and figure this out as we go. You know, like there are a million books on how to be a dad, um, but if they had it right, I think the world would be a different place. And so obviously there's still as a whole on the global scale, there's room for improvement and there's room to make adjustments. You know, like no one has it figured out perfectly. You know, and so we're all learning, right? I think even I assume if we when we're able to have older guests on, they're gonna say the same thing. It's like they're still learning, and we're all gonna make mistakes. And I think that's a big purpose of this podcast and this community that we're putting together so that uh, we can learn together and have a support network, to figure things out when we don't know what to do, like when our kids just crying for hours on end and we don't have our partner available right then and there to help us. Like we can figure it out together.
mhm. Yeah, I'm really hoping to get a good group of guys because I want to learn from them, and hopefully somebody
Yeah.
else can. Hey, hopefully if we make mistakes and we share about them, somebody can learn from them and not do the same thing.
Yeah.
Uh, that's what it's all about, really. Um,
Yeah. We're gonna do our best to not, like, fuck up our kids,
yeah,
That's what it's all about. So,
yeah. But yeah. Is there anything you want to touch on before we kind of wrap things up?
no, I'm just excited to see where this goes. You had, one thing at the end in the notes with, like, most memorable moments thus far in fatherhood. I don't know if you wanted to touch on that or save that
We'll
for.
touch on that shortly. First of all,
Okay.
we could get any father guest on? Who's your dream father guest? Like celebrity, whatever. Like
I think I mean the dream father.
Joseph, Jesus's father. Like how the fuck do you parent that kid? He's perfect.
I mean, I was gonna go with like realm of possibility. Keep it away from religion, but I think a cool father to have on would be like this is going to be politically controversial. But I think if we could, I think it'd be great to have Obama.
Good old
That's kind of
Barack.
like, yeah, like love him or hate him, he was a father to relatively younger girls during his first term of president, and how do you balance being the leader of the free world while being a dad, you know?
That is an
Um,
interesting question. I don't like Trump has kids, right? But they're all full ass
they're all
adults.
adults. Yeah,
Yeah, that
like he isn't raising kids while running a country. I mean, he was raising kids while running businesses, more or less. I don't know Trump's involvement. I don't know Obama's involvement. I know personally nothing about the guy. Very, very little besides he's our, you know, president.
that would be an
um,
interest like a fully candid, like not non like um what's the word for it when like people give like their journalist answers, like an actual conversation, like a genuine
yeah,
conversation. That'd be fascinating. My answer
yeah.
was
Like
Ryan
it'd be,
Reynolds. I just love Ryan Reynolds.
ooh,
He's
I
such a
didn't know he
cool
was a
dude.
dad.
Yeah.
I had no clue he had a kid. Yeah, dude, bro. If we get, I think it'd be harder to get Ryan Reynolds than Obama, honestly.
I'll
Like
put
Obama's retired
I'll
now.
put a
He's got nothing to do.
Deadpool poster right here, like just for
Yeah,
him.
oh, that'd be funny, man. But yeah, I think eventually if we can get like celebrity guests, that'd be great. I think it'd be cool. Like I know we have some friends and coworkers slated already. Um and so it's gonna be really cool to see just their takes on this journey of fatherhood.
Yeah. And
Um
hopefully, I
like,
mean, we're not here just to talk about parenting. This is the first episode. By episode 10, by episode 100, who knows what we'll be talking about. Come on, talk about parenting. My kid pooped and wiped it on the wall, but then we'll talk about video games, sports, whatever else. This is just a place for dads to hang out and talk about stuff.
yeah.
But I wanted to end it on this before we get to our favorite memory with our kids so far. Um, Aubrey, my stepdaughter, she's 5 years old. She came up to me and said, "Hey, can I have a bookmark?" And I burst into tears because, like, she's been around me for almost 3 years now and she doesn't know that my name's Justin. Can I have a bookmark? Bookmark.
Oh, can I have a book? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the dad joke for this
That's a
week.
dad joke. I wasn't sure if you cut out. I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah, you can expect at least one dad joke a week, so stick
All
around
right.
for those. Now let's
Oh,
get
I'll come
into
prepared.
yeah, you somebody's got to come prepared. If I don't have one, somebody better have one.
Oh, all
Um
right, that's good.
Couple other housekeeping things before we get to the last question. Um this episode's being released on Father's Day. You might not be listening to it on Father's Day. You're probably not listening to it at all. But the goal is right now weekly episodes. And each Father's Day, so next year, when the episode that's being released on Father's Day is released, we're going to be awarding the Father of the Year, which is whoever we thought was the greatest guest, whoever we thought was the most interesting. Maybe we'll have the community vote on it, or I don't know. Somebody's going to be uh, chosen as the Father of the Year for that fiscal Father year. I think that's fun. We'll do a little trophy or something. Um, So look forward to that. Show up with your game
Woo.
faces. Um, Me and Kevin can't win. Otherwise I'd add it to my little figurines over here. Um, yeah. What else did I want to touch on? Random thoughts that I had.
Yeah,
My goal is to not be doing this with my webcam and with all my anime shit behind me. I know that a lot of people are audio listeners, but ultimately the goal is to have two, three dudes on a couch chatting, and
yeah.
that's like the dream to be able to have a little studio set up in my garage or something. Um, but I'm really looking forward to doing more of this. I'm really looking forward to getting things going and actually doing something, doing some form of creative outlet. I know that I have other projects in the works. Um, Kevin's got his own work that he's doing. He's got his photography business. We're not boring
Hmm.
dudes. I know this I just completely lost my thought there. Uh, I'm not even editing that out. I just
Woo.
completely just train of thought was gone. But we're
Yeah, we're
gonna
not boring dudes, just period. Yeah, we're not boring. We're pretty exciting. We have
yeah,
hobbies. I
w-
think
w-
it's important to remember that, like, hey, like life doesn't end after you have a kid. Like, we're still people, you know? Like I love snowboarding. I'm running a photography business. I'm working on going back to school even, you know. It's gonna be a journey, you know.
yeah,
So we're all here to learn and grow together. And I'm excited to see where this podcast, just takes us. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
yeah,
Um, Next week, little preview. We have a very special guest, uh, a friend and coworker of Justin. Uh, I think it's going to be awesome to have on.
yeah. We'll let him introduce himself and give his spiel. Hopefully
Yeah,
scheduling works out and that will be the next episode. But
yeah.
I've got
Oh,
a dozen, 2 dozen people lined up who I'm interested in talking to and bringing on. And I think having a third person, maybe even a fourth in the future, will really help with
hmm,
the chemistry and like more natural conversation. I know that this one was kind of scripted. We had a lot of lined up questions, but this is the pilot. We kind of want to get out there who we are and just a little
hmm.
bit about ourselves. I didn't write out an autobiography or anything, so I didn't have to bore you to death with that. But yeah, I really like something big that I'm hoping for with this whole podcast journey is my public speaking ability cuz I think I'm fucking hilarious. Like you put me in a Discord call with friends and we're like actually bantering and stuff. Like I think I've got a lot of good banter. But you put the camera on and press record, and I'm fucking uh.
He's zoning out,
It's.
stumbling over words.
I mean, I do that anyways. I have a speech impediment, but outside of that, it's awkward to turn the camera on to talk into a microphone and to talk to my buddy who's on the computer. I don't know. Like I'm not even looking at the
Yeah,
camera. The camera's right here. If I was looking at it, I wouldn't be looking at my buddy over here. So when I'm looking over here, audio listeners, I apologize, but like it is what it is. But
yeah, and the same thing. Like the whole goal is, I think we're laid back, chill dudes. I think that's the whole point is to just be realistic dudes going through fatherhood with all our struggles. So,
facts.
um,
So, final question of the night. What has been your most memorable, your favorite like memory as a father thus far?
so I have two that come to mind, right? Excluding just watching my child be born, because that's going to be ingrained in my head for forever. Like, um, seeing her in the first minutes of life is something that is undescribable.
Man, cutting that
Like,
umbilical cord. I have a video of me cutting the umbilical cord.
bro,
I'm
yeah,
shaking,
same.
shaking
I
on
don't know.
camera.
I have my wife giving birth recorded. And it's something that we haven't gone back and watched yet. I don't know if we're ever going to go back and watch it, but it's something that we have. So I think for those of us who had the privilege of being in the room while our partners, significant others, wives, spouses, gave birth, I think that's going to be almost everybody's like most memorable thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the cop out
Second,
answer.
yeah, uh, the next most memorable, I think, is just literally just having my daughter at like several weeks old, just sleeping on me, like just holding her, being a safe place for her to just pass out and exist. I think is just the most heartwarming feeling I've ever felt in my life. It's just like a love that is um it's just undescribable. I also think that's a cop out answer. So real answer, giving my daughter food for the first time. Not even like a solid food. Like we've been introducing her recently to foods, and we've been trying out the different food packets that they have of like the purees and like sweet potato with apple and spinach, and seeing her very dramatic and expressive reactions to trying different foods has just been hilarious. And to the point where like it's just something me and my wife love. Like watching her face as she's like trying to figure out whether she likes it or not, and getting used to eating something other than, just breast milk has
Mhm.
been absolute joy. Because a lot of times she's just like she'll take a little sip and mull it over, and then just like, I don't like that. Like that's not it. Like sweet potatoes, like that's weird.
Olive
Spinach, like
loves sweet potatoes.
yeah, like Rain doesn't. It's definitely her least favorite. She likes the berries. The berries are good. Bananas are fine. Um, Apples, she loves apples. Like if we have a apple that we've like cut up, like she'll grab it and she'll just kind of like gnaw on it. Like she absolutely loves it. Um, and then like other fun thing is like we were trying to give her like a little piece of watermelon, right? And we would hold the watermelon to our mouths and go nom 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 nom, right? Oh, yum yum yum! Like this is so good. And we hand it to Rain, and she'd grab it, and instead of putting it in her mouth, she would do the same thing as us. She'd just go like mom, 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 and then smile and put the watermelon down, And so it's just like something like that. Like no, you don't actually put it in your mouth, Like, and trying to communicate that with a 6-month-old baby is hilarious. So
So
that's
cute.
my favorite. That's my real answer. So your turn.
I
If
don't
you want to
have
give the same cop out
one.
answer, or
I won't do cop out answers or like one specific moment, but two of my favorite like current things that go on right now. If I'm holding the baby, if I'm holding Olive and we're going up the stairs or down the stairs, Danielle will follow behind me and just like, I'm gonna get you, or just make sounds at her, and she loses her shit. She laughs so much, and it's precious. So we do that almost every time we go up and down the stairs. And then my second one, so we have a little lollipop baby camera that we have attached to her crib, which it needs to be mounted on the wall. And um, being a father, I'm lazy and it hasn't been attached to the wall yet. But that means that we get these moments where she'll wake up from her nap and she'll just be like staring at the camera. She'll get really close to it. She'll just like and just yell at the camera. And we
that's
have
great.
we have some amazing screenshots of her like in black and white on the camera, just like eyeballing the camera. And it's so funny. She loves to rip it down and play with it. And those two are just like during this stage in her life are hilarious moments that I really enjoy. It'll be interesting to
That's great.
revisit this throughout the years and be like, as a 6-year old, I really love when she just plays by herself and leaves me alone for 10 minutes. But yeah,
Yeah,
those are some of my favorites right now. I think we did pretty good. We
it's fun.
barring all the technical issues, we probably got a solid almost hour here. So it'll be interesting to
Yeah.
go through and edit this and get it out to the world by Father's Day, which is in a couple weeks. But
Woo.
outside of that, to anybody who's made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This is going to be uploaded on YouTube. Uh, if you watch this on YouTube, I really hope you just like minimize the window or put it on while you're driving and don't actually just watch these two talking heads at you. Like, there's not a lot going on here. Like, treat it like an audio podcast if you're watching it on YouTube. I should have said that at the beginning, but
Yeah.
goal is to get it on all
Also,
the platforms: YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. What is there another one?
there's all kinds of
I'm
podcasts.
just doing the
So
big ones.
yeah, we are on whatever platform you're currently listening to us on. So
And if you're on that
yes,
platform, do the things. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Leave a
yeah,
comment. Do things. I don't know. Say hi.
I
But
would say the big thing for me, I would say like one, hey, let us know if you'd be interested in being a guest. Because small podcast. So if you're a dad and have opinions on being a dad, let us know. What is your favorite moment with your child? You know, if you are an older dad, like give us advice. If you're a new dad, what's your favorite thing thus far? Also, because I feel like it's just a fun thing to share.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah,
5 stars also
do all the
on
things.
Google, Apple.
Do the likes, do the stars, leave a review, show some love. I know calls to action are important, and in the future we'll probably have those ironed down and sound more professional, or we might not sound professional because just because I bought this expensive microphone doesn't mean that I'm a professional podcaster yet. But
Yeah.
I sound great, I think. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Danielle, for putting the baby down tonight so that I could record this. We're going to find as much time as we can to record as much as we can, talk to some cool people, build a cool community, and just be cool. I don't know. Any
Okay.
closing words, Kevin? Do you want them to go check out
Nah,
your
dude, this is like the
photography?
longest outro ever. Hey, yeah, if you are interested and you have a baby and you live in either Italy or Florida and would like pictures, or hey, maybe you're listening to this because you're about to be a dad, and you would like a maternity shoot for your wife. I can help out with those things. Or you want to be a dad and you're getting married or something. I can help out in those regards. So follow us on all the socials. I'm sure Justin will have our Instagrams and other things linked in the YouTube videos. So if you want, show us some love. Um, Check out the work. Support my Etsy page. I sell artwork from pictures I've taken all over the world. Um, yeah, I don't know. That's as much call to action. This is like the longest outro ever.
Listen,
It's this.
this is the most genuine part of the podcast thus far.
Oh yeah.
We're
Um,
just hanging out at this point. I don't know why you're still here. But, thank you guys for
I
listening.
mean, I got
Uh,
nothing better to do.
yeah. So we'll see you next week, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.
We definitely need a better outro.